Hey, I got something to show you. Look at this video. So this is a video I made quite a few years back, a little bit earlier on in the history of me doing this whole thing on this YouTube page. And this was my very first video on my Lego Imperial minifigures. This is a video that I've done just about every year or so since they've been done. It's been something I've been doing a while now, but I've never really taken the time to properly do a comparison between how I did then and how I did now. And today I want to do that. Because I've always been really reluctant to call myself an army builder. That's really not a term I like. That's not someone who I consider myself to be. I'm really more of a set collector. But there gets a point where you just gotta say it. Because whether I like it or not, there's a point where you gotta say, hey, I kinda got a bit of an army here. Again, here's what it used to look like. And here's what it looks like now. So my estimations say that there's around 103 or so minifigures in front of me. A lot more than I used to have. It's grown quite a bit over the years, so let's dive in a little bit more in depth. Alright, of course, we gotta start out with the Imperial foot soldiers. So all these base plates, except one, are organized by release. So oldest is here, and the newest is back over here. Now these are just my standard stormtroopers. You got the oldest down here, the very first guy from all the way back in the early 2000s. We get a little bit of updates till we get down to this guy. We got the new helmet emerging over there, and then still just a bunch of new guys. Then we get down to our sand troopers. I only have 3 back there. Don't really have a lot of sand troopers, so I just plugged them in the back. Here we have our more specialized clone troopers. We got some shadow troopers, the Min Bin trooper, some of these guys who I'm forgetting the name. We've got the Inferno Squad, the new Shadow Trooper, and then we go back down here with our last 2 guys where we have this kind of Mortar Trooper and of course Crosshair, who I guess is technically an Imperial Trooper. Then we have our Scout Troopers. I really only have 2 major variations. You got the really old ones and then the really new ones with that interesting snow guy over there. Speaking of snow guys, Snow Troopers, really only 3 major types. We have the old ones here, that old helmet. We have the 2nd generation with the camas and with a lieutenant in there somewhere. Then we got the new guys up here with the new and improved printing, but unfortunately no camas. I also decided to throw in my TIE Fighter pilots. We got a bunch of these old, objectively not great ones, and then we get into some of the newer, better ones. And then of course, we just got some AT-AT walkers. Not a whole lot of variation. They're all relatively new. So yep, quick look at all my stormtroopers. Quick detour from the interesting to the uninteresting. This base plate is just some Imperial officers and crew. Not a whole lot to say here. You know, basic Imperial crew members. Here we have some clankers. Again, nothing here to really rave about. Just your standard kind of Imperial background characters. Alright, so we go from background characters to main characters. Now, for some reason, the Darth Vaders are formatted in the opposite direction. The oldest is over here, and the newest is up here. But again, not a whole lot. You're just going to have your standard Darth Vader evolution. Oddly enough, I've gotten a lot of Darth Vaders in 2023. So this is obviously probably the most expensive figure of the entire collection, though not really a whole lot of valuable figures in here. We got some Shadow Guards, some Standard Royal Guards, and hey, there's Papa Palpatine. So yep, those are those guys. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are already well aware that I don't generally display Lego minifigures. It's just not something I do. So it's not very often that I get to sit back and kind of really enjoy how large of a quantity of something that I own. Now, I know 103 in comparison to some other people's collection is not the biggest number you'll see out there, but for me, you know, the little kid in my brain sees all these stormtroopers and it makes me very happy. So I hope this also brought you some joy looking at some of these cool figs, and that's all I got. See ya.